So, like I said earlier, this is the storage track. This is where we remove trains. The yellow stand on that side is where we take trains back to the shop. So that's a rolling cart. We can put a individual car onto that frame, not a whole train. We roll it over to a hoistway over on the east side of the mountain. We've got a 4-ton hoist there that we can lower the trains down to ground level, put it on the back of the truck, drive it back to the shop to do work on it, if we need to do work on it. All the trains will come back this winter for a tear down and a rebuild. We're going to get into some dark spots, so please stick together. Jordan's just going to make sure we don't lose anybody. Follow me. Alright, so we're at the start of scene 1. The area that we just came from is where the trains enter the mountain. We have a high-speed vinyl door there that rolls up before the train leaves the top of the lift. Once the train enters the mountain, the door closes again. That's just the light blocking the screen. Basically to try and prevent the light from coming inside and keep the ride as dark as possible. The roll-up door is flexible enough as well that if the door was somehow left down and the train made it over, that the door would the train would be able to crash through it, not hurt anybody. We did a few tests with that early on in the testing, and it works pretty good.
Testing.
This area here is the rotary track. This section of track rotates 90 degrees. That's where we take trains onto the side track. Most coasters have a side shift track. This one has a rotary. We have 2 other rides in the park that have rotary transfer tracks. Do you guys know what those 2 rides are?
No, time warp.
Time warp.
And the fly.
Not the fly. Fly is side shift. It's actually flight deck. So next time you ride flight deck, keep an eye out and you'll see how that one works.
Mm-hmm.
It's rotary as well. It's not rotary in this plane. It's actually rotary in a vertical plane.
That's right.
So we've got some magnetic brakes up there as well. There's an aluminum tube on the other side of the train. There's magnetic brakes. 3 of them are fixed brakes. The last 2 on this side are actuated brakes. Depending on the speed of the train, we can either apply more brake or less braking to get the train speeds down to 1.8 meters per second. They move very slowly with these friction drives. These tires are pneumatic filled, and that's what propels the train up a small incline. Once we get to the end of this straight section, then we have a slight downhill to get around the corners. We don't actually propel the trains around the corners, that's gravity that takes them around the corners.
More coaster.
This, you see this ski here and another ski up there. There's a locking bar on the other side of the train. When the train passes that ski, we push a locking bar in, that releases the safety lock on the rotation. So when we get to this orange or this yellow section of bus bar, the safety lock is now undone. We apply power to the train, allows the train to rotate 90 degrees. Once the train's rotated, we get back to here. This one pushes the locking bar back the other direction and locks the safety in place. So now the train cannot rotate. And we travel along in a run position from this point forward. And we return back to the load position down in scene 6 downstairs. Any questions?
So, structurally speaking, is there any particular reason for the lack of fireproofing on the steel on the inside? Is that like a building code thing, or?
The roof deck, there's no requirement for a roof deck to be fireproof.
Okay.
The concrete deck and the columns were proven to be inherently fire safe because of their structural design. They don't require additional fireproofing. In some building construction, the engineers will design the members to have fireproofing applied later.
Right.
But because of this construction, the damp environment, fireproofing is actually a problem because it holds the moisture rather than...
Right. Okay.
It's a problem for the corrosion of the steel. Any other questions?
Seeing them with light, I'm noticing the screens are a very, very fine mesh. What's the lifespan?
I don't know the actual lifespan. They're just like a movie screen, just in your local theater. They are perforated. Behind the screens, we have a series of LED infrared lights. When we go around behind one of the scenes later, I'll show you what those are. like Peter said in the AV room, each gun has a camera inside it. It's an infrared camera. If you had infrared vision and we turned on this array, you'd be able to see these lights, and they'd be in a specific pattern that the cameras can recognize as being, this is scene 1. And when I point out a certain part of the screen, that camera can now triangulate between those LEDs and tell the computer where I'm pointing my gun. So that's how it tells where I'm looking to be able to shoot the goblin or the monster or whatever. So when I pull the trigger, the computer on board communicates that I'm pulling my trigger, communicates to the main server that I'm shooting in this part of the screen, makes the goblin die or run away or get scared or whatever he does. It's a pretty smart little system.
Very cool.
Any other questions? We have a few non-interactive screens. Those are the curves. The reason we elected to go non-interactive was because some people are facing the screen going through the curve, and some people don't have a screen on the inside of the curve. We didn't want to have a disadvantage for those people who are facing the non-screen side. We could have put LEDs and put gaming on those screens, but we elected not to for that disadvantage. You can see the projector racks up top. There's 2 projectors there. Does anyone know why there's 2 projectors for every seat? 3D, yeah. One's a left eye, one's a right eye. There are projectors that will project out of one projector, the left and right eye, and they do that by alternating different content at different frequencies. So that's when you see a 240 hertz projector. It's projecting so fast, the left and right eye contact, that your eye can't see it, but the lenses that you're looking through can see the difference, and that's how you get the 3D. Our projector over in Action Theater, that's the way it works. It's one projector with a very high frequency broadcast. We're going to enter into scene 5 here. I asked that you stay on the outside of the handrails. There is a 60-foot drop here. I don't want anyone falling down that hole. So as we go in, I'll tell you where to go, and you just follow my instructions. Please do not wander off. This safety tube has to be up, so that a train cannot roll off and fall down the drop.
The old brute force method.
That would be terrible, yes.
That's a surprise ending.
The control system stops the train here in this block. Just like every other coaster, this coaster is split up into blocks. These friction drives stop the train here. This is a part of our safety system. The train never actually contacts that stop, but it is a backup to our main system. Two paddles here. Any idea what these might be for? There's one here and one on the other side. Yeah. So if this car is still rotating, for whatever reason it didn't rotate back to the load position, this car would contact that paddle, would force it down, and this sensor would now not be made. That signal would not be made. So then it'll stop the ride. It will not allow that train to enter the station with it rotated, because it will not fit in the station if it's not rotated. We tried. It didn't work. No. do all sorts of crazy things when we're doing our testing and commissioning. So we'll go back to the station. I'll show you some things at the station, then we'll go downstairs to the electrical. Okay?
I can turn on the lights. No problem. Okay. Enjoy the ride. Watch your step here. Watch your step, guys.
Trains get loaded and unloaded, and this is where we also load the capacitors. So when the train parks in this loading position, the ride electrical system is topping up the voltage on those supercapacitors. The capacitors are inside these cabinets. There's also onboard computers on there that talk to the cameras inside the guns. Inside each gun, there's that infrared camera inside that's looking at the LED array on the screens. The capacitors charge up to 12 volts. I don't remember how many amp hours they are, but they charge up in about 30 seconds up to full charge. It's pretty quick. We've got an elevator here for wheelchair guests or guests with disabilities, and then the exit stairwell. We do have a scene that's broadcast there that's something to fill in a bit of the dark void. The Dragon. Have any of you ridden it with the zombies? Yeah. It's a different ride with the zombies. We do some tricks of the eye up in scene 3.
Where's that Halloween?
Yeah.
Scene 3, is that the one where the car pulls up next to you and races with you?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We give you the illusion that you're traveling very quickly when actually you're still going only at 1.8 meters per second. It feels like you're going 50 miles an hour. The fan effects add to that as well. Okay, so I'm going to cut through here and lead you guys downstairs. So this is the electrical room. We kept the audio-visual portion of the control system separate from the ride control system. That's where we met Peter upstairs. These are where the ride control cabinets and the motor control centers are, and our main distribution of our power. We've got 1200 amps coming in here to feed all the different motors on the ride. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, we have almost 20 miles of wire on this ride. It's the most wire of any ride in the park.
Yeah.
That's all of the control wire, all the power feeders, all the tech going to all the speakers, the projectors, the fans,
433 back.
the fire alarm system, miles and miles and miles of wire.
I'm just going to leave your keys on the operator panel.
In that little room over in the back is the motor room for the elevator. You can see brake resistors on the back of this cabinet here. Anytime a motor slows down, and it's acting like a brake, we get rid of that energy through heat, and that's what the brake resistors do. It's dissipating that energy through heat. Newer technology now will put that energy back into the grid. We don't do that on this ride. Any questions about this? All right. The glasses washer is just in this room. That's where we wash the glasses. And then the open door there, you can sort of see into the rest of the mountain. We're not going to go into that space. If you don't have any questions, I think we're just going to make it a wrap.